if they're old enough to go to, you know, we live across the street from an elementary school.
Right.
Never saw them. Never saw them. And it just blew my mind that they were that like that. And they would never talk to us. Antisocial type of people. And the wife would talk occasionally with us, but it was very much, she's a snob, you know, type of thing. Husband would never talk. And whenever he did talk, I didn't like it. It was always mean, rude, inconsiderate. And who on earth would ever tell your children, I wish you were never born? You don't say things like that to your kids. And it just, and then they moved out, and when this other family moved in, it was under the understanding it was a rent-to-own type of thing. And there was and it was basically 4 family groups, 9 people altogether, helping each other, and they were trying to buy the house together. And they lived there for 7.5 years, and then the owners came in, and I asked, supposedly they trashed the house. Granted, they had a lot of stuff, and my house is trash. You know, it would be considered trash. It's just messy. But they supposedly trashed the house, but there really wasn't any property damage. And so why, you know, but they got kicked out because of their housekeeping was not the way the owners liked it. You know?
So then you guys took on Lopez?
Well, yeah, they had Lopez, and they were like, well, what are we going to do? Because they're homeless. What are we going to do with them? You know? And Michael says, don't put them in a kennel because I'll put them down quick. You know? So what we agreed that we will take care of him and see that his training comes along, and then when they get themselves settled, they'll claim them back. So that's what's going on right now.
How long you guys had?
A week.
A week?
Yeah. It was like Sunday they had to move out. Before the end of the month.
Oh.
And they had like 2 days, 24 hours, 48 hours they had been moved out. They didn't have time to get all their stuff out, so, you know, they did what they could, type of thing, got storage for what they can manage to salvage, you know, type of thing. So, it's really tough. And their daughter, she just started high school, and she's got sickle cell, and every time it rains, she ends up in the hospital. So I know where she is right now. So
yeah,
it's a real sad story, but.
Well, outside of doing this, I mean, what else have you guys been up to? I mean, how things going?
I just finally got signed up with Google.
Okay.
And so now I need to learn what I'm supposed to do with them. It's one of those, you know, like the YouTube thing, you know, and as people see my videos and see the advertisements on the videos, then I get paid through that, and sometimes I can get a brand deal, you know, like how do I explain it? I'm thinking of Taco Bell, but I wouldn't do that one. This guy, he says, well, what you do is you got to just make sure Taco Bell's in there somewhere. And so he had this crazy skit where he was skateboarding down the road eating a Taco Bell taco,
wow.
crashes and runs into a tree, and he says, don't eat while you ride. Right? It qualified.
Well, how are you managing you?
I'm doing pretty good.
There?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a couple of hiccups. One was, oh yeah, I should be eating protein, and forgot, and hadn't done that for a couple days. This week, kind of got sidetracked a little, but we got a new restaurant in town, and he wanted to go try it, which was, okay, I'll try it. And I thought I picked what was safe, but it's kind of like a Chick-fil-A thing.
Okay.
You know, you look at it, it looks safe, but I swelled up the next day and gained a couple of pounds. And I was like, I gotta see the doctor in 2 days.
Dickie's barbecue.
Dickie's barbecue.
So it's never safe. Dickie's barbecue's never safe.
Yeah, well, I didn't have, you know, I had chicken, green beans, and a salad.
Well, the problem is the green beans are high in salt, plus they have bacon in it, so that's more salt.
And the chicken, I suspect, had a lot of salt on it. It was
smoked chicken?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they typically inject it to keep it moist.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, that's probably where I went bad on. You know? So it's like, and that was the only thing I could think of, but whatever was in the food, this leg was just massive large, and I had to wrap it and everything, and dangled myself upside down trying to get the water out of it. Now it's not so bad, you know. You know, it looks pretty good now. Sorry, little bit, didn't mean to scare you. So, it was looking pretty good. And so this morning when I got on my scale, it was 219, and I was like, okay, I can live with that.
Well, let's get your weight. Let's see where you're at. And get your blood pressure. Any change in medications?
No.
Okay. Those are consistent. Those are the same. Any
Yeah.
any medical issues over the last few weeks, or since the last time I saw you?
No, just, I've had a couple of days where I felt dizzy, but I got a bit
Okay.
of vertigo issue anyway, so. Stay. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, I guess I gotta kick off my shoes.
Yeah, that might help.
20 pounds of shoes.
Yeah, you can take the shoes, Lopez.
Ready?
That's it.
Hello.
Hello.
It's ready.
Good job.
Awesome. This is about 3 times from the last one.
Yep.
You did good, Lopez. That was good. Yeah, I know, you're scooting.
What about activity? How are you doing there?
I've been going to the gym. I've been doing my swimming. I've been having to take this guy for a walk constantly because of training.
Okay.
So I'm getting lots of exercise. Of course, you know, we don't like to go for walks while it's raining, so.
You know, when we talk about walking, how are you doing are you using the treadmill at all, or?
Well, when I go to the gym to work out,
Yeah.
I add the treadmill to my workout.
Okay, so what's your speed on the treadmill?
It goes up and down. I can max out at 4 miles an hour, but
Okay.
it's for like a minute.
All right. Are you trying to increase that time?
Yeah. Sometimes I can go as long as an hour.
Where are you going?
As little as 20 minutes or as long as an hour. Make sense?
Yep. Now, when you talk about the 4 miles per hour, you're doing that for 1 minute. Checking things out? When you're doing that for the 4 miles per hour for 1 minute, how, are you trying to extend that level of intensity and time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I can't do it for very long, so I kind of go up and down. It's like I go down.
So you go for about a minute, then go down, you become like an interval.
Yeah,
Up and
yeah,
down.
that's the
Okay.
word I'm trying to say. Okay, you're misbehaving, so we're gonna put this back on. Since I'm figuring out how to get on.
Let's talk about your diet over the last month. How's that been?
I've been.
I know you mentioned protein, right? So you're
Yeah.
trying to focus more on that.
I've been sticking pretty close to the.
Are you using any type of meal replacements, or are you still kind of eating whole food?
I've been using the meal replacements, on the most part. There's been times, like today I probably won't because I don't know. If I start, like we'll probably
Yep.
go get something to eat today.
Yeah.
That might make a difference.
So,
But there's, especially when I start noticing I'm gaining weight, I start hitting the meal replacements really hard.
okay.
And then.
Which meal replacements are you using? I know last
Both.
time I mentioned. I talked about we finally got our online store. So are you using those, or are you using somebody else's, or are you using
No.
something else? Or?
No, I'm using your stuff.
Oh, good. Okay.
I figured that stuff's better than what you can get at the store.
You mind if I
Go ahead.
take this real quick? Sorry, I normally don't do that, but somebody was been trying to give me a call. We've got some things going on.
That's all right.
And you said you purchased some from like Metagenics?
Yeah,
Okay.
it took a little longer than what I thought it would take. I
How long
think
did it take to get it?
It took almost a week.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and I had ordered it before I ran out of the Senatol.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest reason why I was like, okay, well, I've run out of that, so I'll go ahead and order the shakes and the bar and, that kind of thing. And said 2 to 3 days. And I was like, okay, that'll work. And so I ordered it, and it was like almost a week.
Did you order like late in the week?
I think I might have, but it was
Okay.
still almost like the same day of the week. by
Okay,
the time
so
I
they
got
don't
it.
count the weekend, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, that's probably why. I should have said if you're gonna order anything, probably order early in the week so you get it by the end of the week. Cause I had the same problem even like with the meal replacement bars when I order them.
Mhm.
Cause they say it's gonna be here in about 2 days. And if I call in on Thursday and order it, they process it Friday and it ships on Monday and it's here by Wednesday. So it's like, I was kinda hoping I'd get it by Monday.
Yeah.
So that sometimes I have to have them rush it, to make sure I get it by Monday or Tuesday, but.
Yeah.
That's good, at least they now, the other thing too is they told me that, patients should be getting discounts to
They
make
get-
sure that you get that, so.
I got a 20% discount
Okay.
from a first order.
Okay.
But after that, you get 20%, or 10%.
That's still pretty good, it's
Yeah.
better than what I can do, so
Yeah.
that's why I've started, that's one reason why I started doing that.
Uh-huh.
Is because they charge me, and so I lose money when they offer that, so.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
'cause we don't make much on it at all, it's like 10%. So we
Like,
don't
I
make
just
anything.
make an inch
So
of it.
that's why it's like, start doing that, cause you save money, and
Uh-huh.
that way I'm like, I'm out of it, so
Yeah,
it makes
yeah,
it easier.
saves you time and trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, that's good, I'm glad that you're using it and was able to do that.
Well, I'm finding that it's better than what anything you can buy in the store.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And even at the health food stores.
Yep.
And so I
Yeah, the big thing is just trying to, the logistics of the shipping, but that was the big negotiating thing, is making sure that everybody got free ship.
Yeah.
So, that's a huge benefit,
Yeah.
so.
And I've been sharing it with my friends
Good,
online.
good.
And telling them, like, they were like, well, this is expensive. And I was like, well, how expensive is a bypass?
Right. Right, but well, my argument to that too is like, you're paying to eat food, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right, you may be paying a little bit more to eat better food that's gonna actually do something for your health.
Right.
Right, versus just paying to normally eat food, so I always tell patients, that's been my big counter argument, is like, well, you're still spending money on food, you're just taking money that you would spend there and paying there, so.
Yeah, this is basically a 2 to 3 meal
Right.
thing.
Right.
And how much would you spend in making
Right.
that kind of food?
Exactly.
It's just like with this guy, we bought, he had dog food, but he won't eat it. And I was getting pretty panicky, and I came across a website where you can make their food. And I found some healthy dog food. And so what I did is I would make his food, and you make a batch that's like
Yeah.
10 pounds of food, but it's got fruits, it's got fruits and vegetables and meat and all that kind of stuff in it, and it's like 5 pounds of meat and the rest of it's all vegetables.
Mhm.
And it's really heavy. And so I put it in 1-cup serving bags, and then when I go to feed him, I take 2 of the special dog food that's supposed to help his stomach and his fur and stuff like that. I take 2 handfuls of that plus this and feed that to him, and he gobbles that down like it's out of style.
Wow.
And stick it in the microwave and warm it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're good to go. And you get about a week's worth of food that way
Good.
too. So then it's
Yeah.
about the same price as if you bought dog food.
Right. Yeah.
So.
No, it looks like you're doing well, the magic number 4, right?
Yeah. Magic number 4?
Yeah, that's what you're at, the magic number's 4.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm
I
saying?
have no idea what that means.
No idea.
No idea.
Do you know what I'm talking about? You're 4 pounds away from 100.
Oh,
No.
okay.
No.
Yes, that's.
You just made a comment about it when you.
Yeah, I was like,
Hmm.
I've passed my 100 at home, but I haven't passed your 100 yet.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So 4 pounds is 100.
Yeah.
Right, that's the century mark.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm excited about that.
Again, I know we've talked about this in the past, it's a big milestone.
Mhm.
Right? And then you have the option, right? Your option is, hey, I can celebrate losing 100 pounds. Great accomplishment,
Mhm.
mind you, a huge accomplishment, right? Or I can celebrate being under 200 pounds
Mhm.
because you're only going to be 13 pounds away.
Yeah.
Given the track record of where you've been, where you've started, 13, that's only 10% more of what you've already lost.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I've.
And I know it's been a very long time since you've been even at 225, and now you're 217, right?
Mhm.
So it's been a very long time. And think about how long it's been since you've been under 200 pounds.
Yeah, that was before I got pregnant. Yeah,
Right.
it was like
It was 20-something years.
Yeah, it was a long time, because I know when I first got married, the first time, I was 240. I know 140. Yeah, I was pretty athletic, and the weird thing was is I've always gone to the gym. I've always worked out. I've always done weightlifting. So I knew that, even with the weightlifting, you're going to be a little bit more heavier because of the muscle mass. So 140 was a good weight for me. And I kind of freaked out when I looked at the doctor's charts, and they're saying I should weigh like 120.
Frame, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, it seemed to me if I weighed less than 140, I started feeling sick. But that's probably because I was a weightlifter.
Right.
I've always been a weightlifter. And even after I started gaining the weight, I still weightlift. But I just could not get that weight off, and couldn't figure out why. Because I was always, he could tell you I've been going to the gym for years.
Right.
And could just
Well,
get rid of it.
and I think it's no longer a question of why I can't get it off. Now it needs to be a question of why can't I maintain it?
Mhm.
Why can't I lose more?
Yeah.
Right? Because the process for what you've already done to lose this amount of weight, we'll start about that, is the same process you have to do to maintain it.
Yeah.
Not the calories, but the process.
Yeah.
Right? The management, getting the activity in, right? Managing you, right?
Mhm.
Putting a glass ceiling down, right?
Right.
Where I challenge you to put it at 200 pounds, right?
Mhm.
Is, once you get, if you decide to go there, is to get under 200, is not to go above 200.
Yeah.
Right? Stay in the 100s.
I would like, to be honest, I would like, my final goal is I'd like to get down to 140 like I used to be.
Sure.
At least 140.
Well, that's less than 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've already lost close to 100. Well, I know you lost more than 100 on your scale.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the reality. I mean, again, I think that's an important element is outside of, and you've done it. You've done it the.
I'm just gonna turn this thing off.
You've done it the tried, proven way.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Lifestyle change, low calorie diet, activity, behavior modification. Right. That's what you have to do to also maintain it. Right. Is watch your calories, activity, behavior modification. Right. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's gotten to the point even when I just make myself a meal. I've shown you my little dishes
Right.
that I bought, and when I make a meal for myself, that is my meal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just gotten to the point where sometimes that even that's too much for me.
Yep.
And that was the other weird thing I couldn't figure out is I wasn't a big eater.
Right.
Before, but for some reason I was gaining a lot of weight. Granted, some of the food I shouldn't have been eating. Didn't realize some of the foods had the reactions. What was the word they used? Like a food allergy or something like that. It's like
Right.
for some reason I just swell up eating certain
Yeah.
foods, and I didn't realize that was an issue. So that's where I've learned. Those kind of modifications, like sometimes if I just want something quick, he can tell you I got a big bag of dried fruit and nuts and stuff
Right.
like that, and I buy the not salted kind,
Sure.
where it's just, matter of fact, I try to get the raw nuts,
Mm-hmm.
not the roasted kind, and I'll take like a handful, which is about a quarter cup, and if I'm like getting kind of shaky or something like that, I'll grab that, and it's got the protein and the sugars that I need to balance out whatever is going on. And
Well, I want to get your picture today.
Okay.
Since you are officially at 100 pound liver scale.
Okay.
Okay.
See, look this. And this other problem I have.
Pants.
I'm losing my britches.
I know this is could be somewhat of a touchy subject for individuals. Any concern, of losing too much weight, and since it's been 20-something years,
Mm-hmm.
right, from where you're at, any concern with where you are with your weight, and then what tends to happen with skin?
Yeah, I know the skin gets kinda on the saggy
Right.
side.
Alright, so have you take a little bit of step to your left. Or, I'm sorry, my left. She said my left. And take a half step to your that way. A little too much. Let's take baby step right there. Perfect.
That's the way.
There we go. Got a dog tail in the way. There we go.
Stay.
Very good. All right. What I'll do is put it together.
Are you trying to figure out what's going on, huh? Lay down.
Okay. Very good. So I think you're doing great, and so here's what I would the big thing is it's the life-changing events that are going to derail you, right? And such as a life-changing event is kind of like, well, I've got a dog, but albeit it's not a massive life-changing event, right? But it's something new in the life, right? Where it takes a little bit of a focus off you, right? And then you start focusing elsewhere, right? So you have to find a balance of focusing on you and whatever that event is taking place, right? Yeah, there's going to be times where weight loss is not equally important to whatever's taking place in life, but the key aspect though is that's acute. Things come and go, hurricanes come and go, storms come and go, right? And then you have to evaluate after the storm, after the hurricane, what's left standing.
Yeah.
Right? You're still there,
Yeah.
right? So you have to return to your sense of normalcy, right, to make that work. And that's the key to weight management, is understanding that life's going to throw you events unexpectedly, all the time. And it's how you manage it,
last year too.
right? And it's unexpected, and it's how do you, the point in case, the floods. Yeah. Right? And, you be able to battle through that, and that's exactly the same thing that you're going to have to do moving forward. So tell me what your thoughts are. I'm glad that at least you got some things set up so you can get those things when you need. I think you're progressing nicely. You've been able to lose weight over the last 2 months. And keep doing that. I want to push you out. I think it'd be important to see you right before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then maybe right after Christmas.
Okay.
Because those are times when people tend to
do their naughties.
Yeah, gain weight. So I think it would be good maybe to see you here in a few months.
Okay.
To see if you're close to, if not, or already there, under the 200 pounds. That's a lot of weight. I get it. That's 7 pounds a month, and that could be challenging. But I think the realistic nature is, okay, maybe it's realistic to expect you to be around 205 or under 210. Right? And then after the holidays, under 2. We're at 2.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think I should do pretty good because we're not real big on all the holiday foods.
Okay.
If you remember.
Yeah.
We weren't real big on that
Right.
kind of stuff because I might fix a dinner and it might it might be a turkey or a ham or something
Sure.
like that, but and then when we went over to my sister's, I didn't have a whole lot. I might have some pie, but it was like that super skinny. It was like the whole family laughed at me because I had this real skinny, not even an inch wide piece of pie, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And even at the Bible study, I've been going to Bible study on Tuesday nights, and I've pretty much gotten to the point where I just don't eat most of the day. I'll have a shake, and I might have a bar. But on the most part, I avoid food all day long because I know there's going to be a large potluck, and ain't no way I can leave that alone. I've tried. It's going to be a failed process. But yours truly, to be honest, started something a couple of years. I used to go to the Bible study a couple of years ago, and my frustration was every time I went there, it was always pizza, store-bought foods that were just not healthy. And each table, we have a huge Bible study, and it's all women. That was funny last night, by the way. All women Bible study. Every time a man showed up, even if we didn't see him, he would go crazy. It was funny. But anyway, we have different tables. And so each table is in charge each week for the food. So it's not everybody bringing a lot of food, So it's like our table is number 4, so on the 4th week, it'll be our turn. Well, when it became our turn, yours truly made this massive fruit. It was just cut up fruit, but it was in a huge bowl. It was all decorated and everything, and I basically made the whole meal for everybody, but it was all decorated, healthy foods. And everybody's like, how'd you make this? I'm like, I took a knife and cut up the fruit. Took a knife, cut up vegetables, fresh baked meats, that kind of thing. And evidently that started something with everybody where they started making healthier choices, So like when I come in, like last night when I came in, on the dessert table was fresh fruit, trays of fresh fruits, and bowls to put them in. And over here we had big, even though they bought the salads, it was just, vegetable type salads, and the dressings were on the side and that kind of thing. And then the only thing that was sloppy joes, somebody made sloppy joes, and that was the only bad food that I could see, other than, granted they had the cookies and the cakes and stuff like that, which, I didn't have any of that, but sometimes I might have something that would, interest me, but it's very little. And so now when I come in, you see a lot more healthier type choices, and people are starting to understand you don't have to knock yourself out. Even one person said, well, I can't cook all that kind of cooking. I said, you don't have to. If there's a group of people, and all you have to worry about is one dish. If you buy that dish, fine, But I like to. I'm home all day. I can cook a massive meal and bring it in and be perfectly happy with that. I'm not saying you have to do it.
Right.
And so like the last time I made fajitas, and but I had all the meats and the vegetables separated so that if there was any food issues, it wouldn't be a big problem. And I had my tortillas that are carb reducing type tortillas, so that everybody was like, oh, this is great. That kind of thing. So so that way now it's a healthier choices for the Bible study, and I don't worry too much about what I get into.
You started something.
Yes, I started something. I even started something at church Sundays. They always had donuts, muffins, coffees, bagels, and I complained. And I told him, I said, I'm trying to lose like 200 pounds, and this is not helping. And the church is not supposed to create a stumbling block. I threw the Bible at them. That's what I did.
Well, let's do this.
Now
So
they
do you feel good coming in right before Thanksgiving? Do you think you'll be able to get under 210?
210 should be manageable. Thanksgiving's this September, October, November. It should be okay.
Yeah, and the fourth Thursday in November.
Yeah. Well, I've been kicking it pretty hard, and I think I should do
Alright.
good.
So let's do that.
Okay.
Let's see you back here in 2 months.
Okay.
Right. Just go and just get what you need when you need it. Right. I'm glad that you got an account to be able to do that. So
Oh yeah.
that's good.
I was happy about that.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe the 12th. So that is exactly 10 weeks. Even if you take 1 pound a week, you should be 207.
Okay.
Is that doable?
I will make it doable.
Here we go. I'm gonna challenge you to 205.
205. Okay. It's one of those, my brain's trying to process this information. Okay. So what date am I looking at?
The 12th of November.
November 12th. And at what time?
You can do 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I like this. I got to the point where I've made this A4. Typed in South Denver Wellness enough times where it stays put. I just